Welcome to today's deep dive. It is Monday, April 6th, 2026, and today we are doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, we're definitely stepping outside the usual topics today.
We really are. I mean, we're not talking about fashion trends or, whatever hype is going around. This is about power, psychology, identity, and actual transformation.
Absolutely.
So I want you, the listener, to think about the moment you stood in front of your mirror this morning. You looked at the outfit you just sort of threw together before you walked out the door.
Probably didn't give it a ton of thought, right?
Right. But I want you to be brutally honest with yourself for a second. Were you dressing for yourself, or were you dressing for the people you might run into today?
That is the million-dollar question.
It really is. Today, our source material is this fascinating manifesto titled Stop Dressing for Approval, Start Dressing for Purpose. And our mission for this deep dive is to figure out how the clothes we wear don't just, reflect who we are, but actively shape our behavior.
Yeah, and our confidence and ultimately our future.
Exactly. And I have the perfect guide here to help us decode all this psychology.
Well, thank you. We've all heard that old cliche of dressing for the job you want.
Oh, yeah, a million times.
Right, but this manifesto takes that tired advice and grounds it in some really solid structural psychology.
Hmm.
Because in our world today, with information overload and social media, we often dress just for survival.
Survival. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, rather than self-actualization. We put on this kind of daily armor, but it's an armor that's actually designed to make us invisible instead of powerful.
Okay, let's unpack this because there is a massive difference between putting on clothes to protect yourself from the weather and putting on clothes to protect yourself from judgment.
Exactly.
There's this brilliant argument in the text that most people out there don't actually have a personal style. What they have is a localized fear of criticism.
That's such a striking way to put it.
Right, like we aren't choosing our outfits, we are negotiating them.
Yes, and that word negotiate is really the crux of the issue here. Because when you negotiate, you are inherently making compromises, right?
You're giving something up.
Exactly. You hold up a jacket, and your brain immediately starts running this social algorithm, like, will my coworkers think this is too flashy?
Or, does this fit the unspoken dress code of my friend group?
Will I stand out too much? All of that. You're constantly weighing external opinions before you even put the garment on.
It sounds like we're treating our clothes the exact way we treat a risky text message.
Oh, that's a great comparison.
You know what I mean? Like, you draft a text, and then you edit it, 5 times to make sure it doesn't accidentally offend anyone.
Right, or come across too strong.
Exactly. But in the process of editing it down to be perfectly safe, you completely dilute your actual personality.
You lose the original voice.
Yeah, the final message is acceptable, but it's totally bland. And we are doing that exact same thing with our physical presence every single day.
We are. And what's fascinating here is the psychological cost of that constant daily dilution. It's staggering.
I can imagine. It's got to wear on you.
It really does. Because when you dress to be merely acceptable, you are making a subconscious habit out of shrinking yourself.
Wow. Shrinking yourself.
Yes, you are literally practicing the art of blending in. And over time, your internal compass, like your sense of what you actually like and who you want to be, it gets completely replaced by this external barometer of public opinion.
That sounds exhausting, to be honest.
It is. And this leads to what the source material brilliantly defines as rented confidence.
Rented confidence. Man, that phrase hit me like a ton of bricks when I read it.
That's powerful, isn't it?
It really is. Because if you rent something, you don't own it. The landlord can take it back whenever they want.
Exactly. And in this case, the landlord is the general public.
Right.
Rented confidence is entirely dependent on external validation. So, say you walk into a networking event feeling great because you dressed in a way you assume everyone there will approve of.
Okay.
Your confidence is totally conditional. The exact moment someone gives you a weird look, or you realize you slightly misread the room's vibe.
It just shatters.
Yes, it vanishes. Your sense of self becomes incredibly fragile because the foundation is built on other people's unpredictable reactions.
Wait, really? So if I'm dressing to avoid standing out at the office, I'm basically putting my self-esteem on a lease?
That's exactly what you're doing.
I am handing over the emotional keys to random strangers I might pass in the hallway? That is wild.
It is wild, and it's a terrible way to go through life.
So if dressing for approval leads to this rented, fragile sense of self, There has to be some sort of cognitive mechanism happening under the hood here that we can actually take control of, right?
There is, absolutely. And to understand it, we have to look at the hierarchy of why we wear clothes in the first place.
Okay, lay it out for us.
The manifesto breaks down the psychology of style into 3 distinct tiers. There's the physical level, the social level, and the psychological level.
Okay, physical, social, psychological.
Right. So the physical level is your baseline. It's purely utilitarian. Comfort, warmth, keeping the rain off.
Right, like I'm not walking into a snowstorm in a t-shirt. That's just basic survival.
Exactly. It's the bare minimum function of a garment. But the manifesto argues that almost everyone immediately gets trapped in the second tier.
Which is the social level.
Yes. The social level is where you dress for the tribe. And historically, from an evolutionary standpoint, this makes complete sense.
Because if you stood out too much from your ancient tribe, you might get ostracized.
Right, which back then meant literal death. Our brains are hardwired to seek group cohesion.
That makes a lot of sense. So we're just running on ancient hardware.
Precisely. So in the modern world, the social level is the realm of dress codes, blending in, signaling your socioeconomic group.
And seeking that rented confidence we were just talking about.
Yes, it's safe, but it fundamentally stunts your growth.
Because it keeps you from reaching that third tier, the psychological level.
Exactly.
And reading the text, this is where you move from how others see you to how you see yourself.
Which is a huge leap.
It is. It maps so perfectly onto Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like, you go from basic physical survival up to social belonging, and then up to the absolute peak, which is self-actualization.
That's a perfect analogy. When all 3 of these levels align, you unlock true confidence.
Right. Your clothes are no longer just a shield to hide behind.
No, they become an amplifier for who you uniquely are. It moves you from merely fitting in at the social level to standing out, and finally to actually becoming at the psychological level.
Becoming. I love that word for this. Which brings me to this line in the manifesto that absolutely stopped me in my tracks.
Oh, I think I know which one you're going to say.
You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your identity.
That is the anchor of this entire philosophy.
It's wild to think about. We constantly hear about, grinding, hustling, optimizing our routines to reach these massive goals.
Hustle culture's everywhere.
Exactly. But this suggests that your goals are totally irrelevant if your underlying identity doesn't actually match them.
They really are.
Like, if you secretly see yourself as someone who is small or someone who desperately needs validation, you will inevitably self-sabotage and fall back down to that baseline.
You'll regress to the mean of your self-image.
Yeah. And your wardrobe could literally be acting as a physical anchor, just dragging down your ambitions every single morning because it reinforces that fearful identity.
Well, consider the cognitive dissonance that creates in the brain.
Okay, tell me more about that.
You're telling yourself, I am going to lead this project today. I am going to be bold. But the physical sensation of the clothes you deliberately chose to blend in and hide.
They're sending a conflicting signal back to your brain.
Exactly. Your brain registers that friction. It knows you are hiding. So if an unclear identity leads to an unclear style, the only logical next step is to redefine that identity.
So you can't just buy better clothes to fix it?
No, you have to fix the philosophy of the person wearing them first.
Yep. Here's where it gets really interesting. Because the manifesto introduces this concept of purpose-driven style, and it specifically points to the philosophy of a brand called BK Leo Clothing.
Yes, BK Leo is a great case study for this.
It requires this massive mental script flip. We have to take that old fear-based question like, will people like this? And completely throw it in the trash.
Just get rid of it.
Right. And the new empowering question we have to ask when we're standing in front of the mirror is, does this represent who I'm becoming?
That simple question changes everything. Because fashion ceases to be about impressing a room.
Right.
It becomes a tool for personal mission alignment. The text highlights a few specific identities your wardrobe can reflect.
Like what?
Whether you are stepping into the role of a leader, a creator, a builder, or a visionary, your wardrobe should be deliberately curated to reflect that specific trajectory.
Okay, but I have to push back here a little bit.
Sure, go ahead.
Isn't that just sort of fake it till you make it? I mean, if I put on a sharp, structured CEO's suit, but I don't actually know how to run a company and I'm totally insecure, I'm just playing dress up, right?
I see what you're saying.
Like, I'm just a kid in my dad's blazer. How is this purpose-driven style any different from pure delusion? Like, how does a piece of fabric actually communicate an abstract concept like vision or growth?
That's a really fair question.
Mm-hmm.
If we connect this to the bigger picture and specifically look at the behavioral science behind what brands like BKLEO are doing, we find this phenomenon called enclothed cognition.
Enclosed cognition. Okay, what is that?
It's not about tricking other people. It's about the systemic influence your clothes have on your own psychological processes.
Wait, really? The clothes actively change how I think.
Yes, the mechanism is a combination of the physical sensation of wearing the garment and the symbolic meaning you associate with it.
So the magic isn't in, like, the cotton or the stitching itself?
No, the magic is in the intentionality and the association.
Okay, I think I'm following.
Think about it like this. When you put on a structured jacket, your brain subconsciously associates the physical sensation of that structure with the psychological schema of authority or discipline.
So it literally alters my posture.
It changes your posture, yes, but it also changes your risk tolerance. Your cognitive processes actually shift to align with the symbolic meaning of the clothes.
Oh, wow. So if I consciously curate an outfit that represents vision to me, wearing it serves as this relentless physical trigger for my own brain?
Exactly, which is the BKLEO philosophy in a nutshell.
Mm.
Purpose-driven brands focus on mindset and message, not just aesthetics.
It's basically a wearable feedback loop then.
That's a brilliant way to put it.
Like, I put on the garment that represents leadership. My brain registers the physical sensation and the symbolic intent. I start acting with slightly more authority.
Which reinforces the identity.
Right. Which makes the goal actually achievable. So every single piece of clothing becomes a daily, tangible reminder of the internal narrative I'm trying to build.
And over time, that narrative becomes reality. The clothes are the catalyst. Every piece reinforces your internal narrative.
I love that. I really love the idea of setting that cognitive anchor for yourself before you even leave the bedroom.
It sets the tone for the entire day.
But, we can't just leave you with this abstract, high-level philosophy. The listener needs to know what to actually do.
Right. Application is key.
Exactly. You need to know exactly what to do tomorrow morning when you're staring into your closet, holding a cup of coffee, and looking at a bunch of clothes you bought just to please other people.
Application is where the theory actually gets tested. And the manifesto lays out a really clear framework for this.
So what does this all mean in practice? Let's walk through the 3 actionable steps from the text.
Let's do it.
Step 1 is dress for the role you want. And the crucial caveat here is not your current situation. The text is very blunt about this.
Extremely blunt. If you're building something, look like it. If you're leading, dress like it.
But that's hard, right? Because most people dress for the job they currently have, or just, the lethargic mood they woke up in.
Yeah, but this is an act of manifestation, and it requires a profound leap of faith. Dressing for purpose means physically embodying the person you intend to be before you have fully arrived.
You're closing the gap between your current reality and your future identity.
Exactly.
Which leads right into the second step, building a message wardrobe.
This is a great concept.
It means curating pieces that represent specific traits, like discipline, growth, fearlessness, and vision.
But building a message wardrobe reveals a pretty massive secondary problem in your closet.
Oh, what's that?
Well, when you define your message as, say, fearlessness or discipline, you suddenly look at your closet and realize 80% of the clothes hanging there don't fit that message at all.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I bet they don't.
They project compliance or apology or invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
So you are forced to confront the psychological reasons you bought them in the first place.
That is a harsh reality check, which sets up the ultimate hurdle. Step 3, eliminate approval-based choices.
This is the hardest one.
The instruction is to ask, am I choosing this for me or for them? But let's talk about the friction of actually doing this in the real world.
Because there will be friction.
Oh, definitely. What happens when you eliminate those approval-based choices? You put on your new message wardrobe that perfectly aligns with your ambition. You walk into the office.
And your coworker says something.
Yeah. They look at you and say, wow, who are you trying to be today?
Right. That exact moment is the ultimate stress test of owned confidence versus rented confidence.
Because it stings.
It does sting.
Ah.
But when you stop dressing for approval, the people around you who relied on your compliance, the ones who felt comfortable because you were just blending in and playing it safe, they will experience friction.
So their weird look or snarky comment isn't actually about your outfit at all?
No, not at all. It's about their discomfort with your growth, your new alignment, acts as a mirror to their own compromises.
Oh, man. That is so powerful.
It is. And this emphasizes the ultimate truth from the source material that most people actively avoid facing.
Which is?
You don't need better clothes. You don't need a higher shopping budget or the latest designer labels.
We need better alignment.
Exactly. When your style genuinely matches your true purpose, the overthinking stops, the shrinking stops. You start showing up like someone who fundamentally knows who they are.
And the need for that external validation just drops away. Like the snarky comment from a coworker just bounces off.
Because your confidence isn't rented from them anymore. You own it.
You own it. I love that. And it creates this undeniable ripple effect, right? The causal chain from the text is right there in front of us.
It's a very clear chain reaction.
The way you dress is the way you show up. And the way you show up determines the life you build.
You change the outfit to trigger the mindset alters your behavior, and that behavior builds your new reality.
It's incredible.
It really replaces this downward spiral of fear and compliance with an upward feedback loop of empowerment.
It's a radical daily reclaiming of your own identity.
Absolutely.
Man, we have covered some intense psychological ground today.
We really went deep.
We started by confronting that uncomfortable trap of rented confidence, that instinct to edit ourselves down just to be acceptable to a room full of strangers.
And we dug into the cognitive mechanics of moving from merely surviving at the physical level up past the social level all the way to self-actualization.
Right, and then we unpacked what it actually takes to build a purpose-driven style, flipping the script from seeking approval to own confidence. I really want to remind everyone of the manifesto's closing thought.
It's a great quote.
You're not just wearing clothes, you're wearing your transformation.
This raises an important question, though, for everyone listening.
Ooh, okay. Leave us with something to think about.
We've spent this entire deep dive talking about the fabric on our backs. But if this concept of rented confidence applies so deeply to something as simple as getting dressed...
Where else is it happening?
Exactly. Where else in your life are you currently negotiating your choices purely for external approval? Think about your career choices.
Or your hobbies.
Right. Or even the way you speak up or intentionally stay silent in important meetings. Are those behaviors operating on rented confidence? Or are they genuinely aligned with the person you are actually becoming?
Wow. Because if you are habitually diluting your wardrobe just to keep the peace, there is a very good chance you are diluting your entire life.
It's definitely something to chew on.
That is a heavy, necessary thought.
Yeah.
Are you dressing your life for approval or for purpose? Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a great conversation.
It really has. We hope it gave you the tools to stop negotiating your identity. Keep learning, keep aligning, and keep pushing back on the desire to just blend in.
Dress for your purpose tomorrow morning.
Yes, tomorrow morning when you stand in front of that mirror and look at what you are about to wear out into the world, don't ask what looks safe. Ask yourself, does this represent my future? We'll see you next time.